Hello my friends! In today's video I'm going to talk to you about how to choose the Montessori nursery for your child. This video is not about comparing Montessori versus traditional education, but more for parents who already chosen the Montessori philosophy. You know that that's what's right for your child. However, you're not sure when you go and visit different schools whether they're actually real, authentic Montessori schools. The thing is, Montessori never trademarked her name and any school can use it, and there are hundreds and thousands of schools around the world who use Montessori in their name, and they promote themselves as Montessori inspired or Montessori nurseries. However, quite often they are not. You're going to the school, you booked your tour, there is someone who is guiding you and showing you around, and there are certain things you can look for that would show you whether that's authentic Montessori. The first thing to look for is the overall environment. A Montessori classroom is usually very bright with lots of natural light and natural colors. There is nothing hanging from the walls. There aren't any arts or letters or numbers as most other schools would have, and it's really very orderly as well. Most shelves would be from natural materials, and when you look around the shelves, you would see great order there as well. So there will be lots of activities, but they will be put in order. Another thing to look for is the organization of the classroom. In Montessori, there are 5 main curriculum areas. These are activities for everyday living, also called practical life skills, numeracy, that's mathematics, literacy, and then we have knowledge and understanding of the world, which is very science, biology, and basically the whole understanding of how the world works. And we also have sensorial, which is the sort of the main Montessori area in every school. In addition to that, we normally have art area and a little role play area. And when you see this organization of the classroom, you see that each corner would represent the different curriculum area. Many other nurseries wouldn't necessarily have organizational area like that, whereas in Montessori there is so much freedom for the child, so much freedom for them to choose how to work, but then there is this structure in how you organize the classroom itself. Things to look for in terms of materials. In sensorial area there are the iconic pink tower, and then also the broad stairs. Children would work with materials there that are either from fabric or wooden, and then they will work with them to categorize them based on size or based on color. And many nurseries, even if they're not Montessori, would normally have some of the materials from the sensorial area. In the numeracy area, you would look for sandpaper letters with lots of beads, also counters and long rods. In the literacy area, we would see the large movable alphabet. So there are materials that each Montessori nursery should always have if they're authentic Montessori. Something else that is very typical for Montessori environment is that there would be materials that in many other environments would be considered as risky, which means that they can be breakable, easily breakable, or there will be scissors and things that they, of course, have been risk assessed, but Montessori believe that children, when they're shown how to work with these so-called risky materials, they actually manage to work with them pretty easily. And usually it's in Montessori environment that the jugs that we use or the glasses that children use are always real glasses, really made from glass rather than being plastic. There aren't any toys, plastic toys in a Montessori nursery. Again, everything is from natural material, usually that's wood, and plastic doesn't have place there. If you look around, you would see that there aren't that many colors either. Next one to look for is the vertical grouping, also called the mixed age classroom. Montessori truly believed that it's against the social nature of the child to split them based on their age, because each child has their own individual pace in development, and in real life we are not separated by age as well. So on Montessori, usually in Montessori classroom you would see children between 3 and 6 in most countries, 6 to 9 and 9 to 12. Unfortunately, here in the UK, children go to school very early. We lose them at the age of 4 when they go to reception, which means that our nurseries, Montessori nurseries or preschools, would be usually between 2.5 and 4.5 years of age. The reason why vertical grouping is so important is that younger children learn so much better from older children by copying them, by role modeling them, and they're more curious about what are they doing versus adults. And also older children solidify their knowledge by showing to younger children different things, by helping them in their environment, which helps them as well to build their confidence and self-esteem. So it's something which every Montessori, natural Montessori classroom would have. So if you go somewhere and the nursery guide tells you this is our group, 3 to 4 years old, this is our group, 4 to 5 years old, it means that they're not actually following the Montessori philosophy, because this is very, very crucial for a Montessori environment. Next one, again, very important and easily spottable, is the snack area. So where is the snack area, and whether the children have access freely to fruits and veggies or whatever the snack is, and they can serve themselves whenever they feel like it. In a Montessori environment, again, there is an uninterrupted cycle of work, which means the child can decide what they want to work with, and there aren't group snack times, as in most other places. If the child wants to eat, they go and eat. Usually friends see them, they join them, but it's their choice whether they want to go and at what time to go there. As well, they should have a free access to water. Again, we teach them, like Montessori nursery, we teach them how to pour the water, and then they serve themselves, because it's all about independence. Next one is the teachers. I know you'll be busy by having someone who is giving you a tour. However, look around and see how teachers communicate with children. In the Montessori environment, usually teachers will take observations, or they will be working independently with the child, or they will be presenting different activities. And teachers always see the child as their equal. The teacher is not the boss, the teacher is not above the child, and the teacher doesn't give orders. So it's a very respectful environment where the spirit of the child is truly, truly respected. So a teacher in a Montessori environment usually is someone who has a Montessori qualification. It's very hard to be a Montessori teacher without going through the 2 years education to become one. And I know that there are lots of nurseries who employ and hire people who have not the qualification for Montessori, and then they invest lots of time and resources to teach them, and I'm sure that probably it works to a certain point. However, when you study and you go for the qualification yourself, there are lots of time that is spent not only on philosophy and child development, but also how exactly to present the activities to the children. So you can always ask about the qualification. Not many nurseries would choose to be accredited, although they can be accredited, because being accredited by a body, a certain body depending on the country, means that you have to pay lots of fees. Lots of schools choose not to do that. It doesn't mean they're not Montessori if they have not been accredited. However, if none of the teachers or only half of the teachers have Montessori qualifications, I would question how that can be an authentic Montessori environment. Last one is the uninterrupted cycle of work. What you can ask is, can you please tell me more about how the day goes in this school, what the children do, how a usual typical morning looks like for the children. And in Montessori, it's really important to give to the children so-called an interrupted cycle of work, which is usually 2 to 3 hours. It used to be longer years ago when children were staying for longer hours at nurseries. And the idea is that there aren't different blocks of times that are specifically for certain presentation or curriculum. Let's say in traditional education, there will be more like, okay, now we have 30 minutes of mathematics, 30 minutes of reading time, now we have yoga, now we have music, now we have different sorts of classes that we have pre-booked for the child before. In Montessori environment, the child is the king. They choose what they want to do, and they are working with the materials in the way they want to work, not in the way, of course, you show them, but they choose how they want to spend their time. That's why even if we have group classes such as yoga or music or any other classes that is part of the daily environment in the school, you never force the child to be part of it. Children choose whether they want to join or not join. And again, you let them choose something else if you don't feel like joining a group class. And of course, spend some time to look around and see how the children work. In a Montessori environment, children are usually very independent. They'll put their shoes on, they'll do things by themselves, they'll wash their hands by themselves. Usually they'll put their activities back, they'll tuck their chairs, and often they work by themselves. It's very individualized learning. That's it from me, my friends. I hope this video helped you, and if so, please give it a thumb up, share it with your friends, and I cannot wait to hear from you. Leave me a comment if you're interested more about Montessori videos, and I'll see you next week. Bye!